What's going on, everybody? Today we are diving into a song that I've already heard a little teeny bit of because it is actually the song for Hell's Paradise Season 2. And I guess I should say it's the opening theme, but you know what I'm saying. and I was gonna say, even though I've heard a snippet of this, the full version is out now. And the main reason why I'm here, honestly, is because it is featuring Baby Metal, who is, in my opinion, one of the best metal bands or groups, whatever you want to say, out of Japan. But the main artist that I, of course, will also show love to is Tatsuya Kitana, I think is how you might say his name. So I'm excited to be able to finally hear the full version of the song because I loved what I was hearing from just the opening. So I'm very, very excited. This is going to be really good, I can tell. But before we get started, guys, if you guys want to show me some extra love and support outside my YouTube content, then you can check out my content over my Patreon, which is exclusive content that you can only find over there. And also, if you guys didn't know, I release music too. So if you want to check out my fairly new song called Tonight, go ahead and click in the description down below. You can find both links. And if you do, I greatly appreciate it. I hope to see you guys over there. Now let's go ahead and dive into this and see what Tatsuya and Baby Metal has for us. Here we go. Ooh, hell yeah. They're actually built there. Oh, I forgot to say this is called a faint flower, but in Japanese that is, of course, Kasuka na Hana. That's my bad. Anyway, so let's go. I love the drum work. This is sick. I remember this part. Oh, just kidding. Maybe I don't. Oh, Sue. Damn. Oh, their voices sound so good together. Oh, yeah. Oh, I freaking love it. So good. I think this is honestly one of the best vocal displays of Sue Metal, in all honesty. And I mean, let's be honest. If you guys are here for Baby Metal like I am, you guys know that they did some heavy, phenomenal collaborations on their most recent album, and those were mind-blowingly good. But this might be one of her most awesome collaborations because her voice sounds so good with this other guy. I'm not gonna remember his name because I'm terrible at remembering Japanese names, let alone an English name. But I love this song because if you really dive into the lyrics, it's cool that it seems to me like they are kind of emulating the idea of this faint flower, if you will, being almost represented as a human being. Because if you pay attention to the lyrics here, I'm gonna have to pause this song here. The flower just bloomed in dignity. I just wanted to protect this one flower. So it's almost like, there's this one flower that they kind of almost mentioned vulnerability here in a little bit that maybe was, maybe the runt of, if we keep it the idea of the flower, even though it represents a human, I think it's like this flower was the runt of it all. This one maybe is the one that took the longest to, blossom, if you will, because of the fact that maybe it was not as well taken care of as maybe the other flowers. And when I say that, I mean in terms of like human aspects, where sometimes people come from a better environment than other people. So maybe some people are able to flourish faster because of their upbringing, whereas some people maybe come from a more rough upbringing, so they can't I guess, get to where they want to be at, and maybe they struggle a bit to get to where they want to be at. But if we keep going, obviously, you can see, picked up the vulnerability I had once cast away. So we're kind of going back to the human aspect, saying that I picked up on the vulnerability that I once tried to hide from me, or from themselves. So I think that, as a human being, vulnerability is so important to all of us. Being able to be vulnerable, whether it's a woman or a man or anything like that, it's so important that we can show that side up to ourselves, because it shows that we are capable of becoming stronger. If you don't have the ability to embrace your own weaknesses, vulnerability, if you will, then how are you ever going to get stronger? If you can't embrace the trouble side of yourself, how are you going to improve? How are you going to be able to make room for improvement? And I think that's so important for us in a way. So again, like I said, we're tapping more into the actual humanity side of it all. And then, going into this next line, I can't break free from the ambivalence. That's a hard word for me to say, apparently. And then saying that in that, ambivalence, or how you say that, I become myself. So now we're kind of, reflecting more, going back to the idea of saying, like, now I am becoming more like myself. And then this is kind of almost going into the idea of almost like what it took to get there. For now we're going back to flower, like rooting strongly into the soil, like swaying. They're using big words here, that ephemerally to the wind. So again, now we're talking about back to the flower again, saying that almost like rooting strongly into the soil is what helped the flower grow stronger. It's the same thing with us, where if we root ourselves strongly into, a good family, into, some kind of mentor or friend or something like that, that will help us grow stronger too, and grow bigger and better than we ever can be, honestly. So I think that that's just a nice little, kind of a lengthy but really important analysis of this chorus, and how important it is for us to, embrace our, if you will, vulnerabilities, embrace our struggles, embrace our, what might be deemed as issues, but our issues are only just a part of us that make us become better overall. So I think that's just such a really cool and very important course. I really want to take the time to break down. So hopefully you guys took the time. I hope you guys appreciated that, even though it was a little lengthy. But let's keep going now. I don't think I'm going to pause anymore. I think I'm going to try not to, at least. Was there something else I really want to point out? But anyways, let's go. Let me go back one here, just in case. See, again, I'm slowly loosening myself to be able to bloom. Myself, human being again. So cool. See, a faint flower is blooming unnoticed by anyone. See, that's where we're going back again, saying this faint flower, if you will, this human being, was slowly but surely improving themselves and becoming better and better without anybody really noticing, because they figured out how to do it on their own. They accepted their vulnerabilities, and they were able to do that. Okay, cool, love that. That was cool, actually. I love that they kind of like double his voice in that moment. Ooh, going back and forth between nothingness and completeness. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, now we're kind of reflecting on that brokenness. I love that. This might be one of the best openings for anime I've heard in a while. This is so good. Whoa, that's actually cool. This music video is so cool. I love like the flower petals flying all around them. Oh, I just realized that what they're performing is a big flower. Nice. Oh, see, that's cool. See, like both sides of them have their own flowers. There we go. Both sides of them have their own flowers that bloomed. You have the white one that bloomed over here, I think, on Tatsuya's side, and then I think this is the one that formed on the Baby Metal side, which is so cool. I love that. What? Let's keep going and see if there's anything else real quick. Probably not. Whoa, that's a cool way to do the credits. That's what they're called. Let's see here. Oh, Baby Metal did a lot of this, actually. I'm surprised that they had Baby Metal featured, but like, they did like everything, because they had Koba Metal do the production. The management was completely Baby Metal World LLC and Koba Metal and Hirokomo Metal and Taka Metal and Oka Metal and Royo Metal and Yumi Metal. Whew. And then the choreography was Miki Kiko Metal, also I guess known as 11 Play. Yeah, so like I guess what they did was maybe they did like all of the instrumentation and like the choreography obviously for Baby Metal side. And then maybe he did like his side of the aspects with like his own writing for the vocals maybe. I don't know. But I'm happy to see how much Baby Metal had to do with this. I'm glad it wasn't like a just featuring Baby Metal, like, oh, we're just using them for their vocals. Like, I'm glad that it felt like it was a Baby Metal song with, you know, him also, which is cool. But anyways, phenomenal song, let's be honest. Like, this was probably one of the most awesome anime openings I've heard so far all year. And it's just one of those things where maybe I'm a little bit biased because it is Baby Metal and I love them to pieces. But genuinely, I think this was just, it's really cool when you see a great song for not only an anime that I know is actually probably pretty popular and might even be worth a watch, but also the fact that it comes with such a great message. And whether that obviously ties into Hell's Paradise and this theme for this season, I have no idea. But I love that outside of the fact that, like, even if you don't have the idea, or I guess the notion of the fact that this is associated with a anime, if you just go into this listening to it and not even know the association with Hell's Paradise, you still can enjoy the song and get a really fucking phenomenal message out of it, which I love. It's so cool. Yeah, honestly, love this pieces. I'll be listening to this a ton, and honestly, I'm wondering, maybe do I want to start diving into Hell's Paradise? That might be a good anime to dive into here, with me wrapping up season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen soon. But regardless, we'll see. You guys can let me know in the comments too if you want me to. But regardless, guys, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop that like. Just subscribe to the channel by clicking down below, and I'll go ahead and place reaction post for, we'll do Baby Metal over here, and you can check out my most recent reaction already over here. As always, thank y'all so much for watching, showing love and support, and I will see you all in the next video.